Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome back to Formula Amateur, where we'll be discussing the very belated Australian Grand Prix. And before we start, I would like to apologise for the horrendous condition that my voice is in. It's the reason why there wasn't an episode last week, but we're going to try and get through it, and hopefully you'll bear with me. And let's get to it, shall we? Okay, so today we are talking about the Australian Grand Prix, which happened almost 2 weeks ago now, and we'll start off with FP1, first practice. We are looking at how the teams are testing and learning the track right before the race, and by then the track is dry, everything's fine, but we all know that on the Sunday it's bound to rain, so the teams have to figure out their setups ahead of time, but they have to deal with the dry track for now. So we had Norris in first, Sainz second, Leclerc, Piastri, Verstappen, Albon, Russell, Alonso, Hadjar, Stroll, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Doohan, Antonelli, Bortoleto, Lawson, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Ocon and Behrman. Behrman actually crashed during the first practice, and as a result he couldn't take part in the second practice because Haas was busy trying to fix his car ahead for qualifying. So that was quite sudden. Everyone's still learning their new cars. It's the first race weekend, and the car was just not having it at that time. And a lot of rookies also had issues because it's a very different sort of machinery to what they were used to when they were in Formula 2. So now we go to FP2, where the standings are, well, there are 19 drivers on the track this time, learning the track. As I said, Behrman is not able to drive because he crashed out. And this time the standings were Leclerc, Piastri, Norris, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Hadjar, Verstappen, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Russell, Sainz, Albon, Alonso, Doohan, Gasly, Antonelli, Lawson, Bortoleto and Ocon. And just as a spoiler, it was not Lawson's weekend, it was not the rookies' weekend either. They all struggled, as we will see in the next episode as well. It was still a dry track, and people were able to qualify on dry as well. FP2 had meant that they were more versed into what to expect from the conditions on the Friday, and then now we go into FP3, which was on the Saturday. And now we go to Saturday, and the top teams are still up the top with Piastri, Russell, Verstappen, Leclerc, and then we have rookie Antonelli, Sainz, Albon, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Norris, Bortoleto, another rookie, Gasly, Hadjar, another rookie, Stroll, Doohan, another rookie, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Ocon, Behrman, another rookie, and then Lawson, as I said, not Lawson's weekend, and it just was a struggle throughout. Another dry circumstance for this race, and this was brought on some similar results going into qualifying, which was only a few hours later. So let's get into that one now. So for qualifying, we'll go from the bottom to top because of the fact that qualifying comes in three sections. So in Q1 we have the people who lost out and had been placed at the very bottom of the grid. So Behrman in 20th, Ocon in 19th, Lawson in 18th, Hulkenberg in 17th, and Antonelli in 16th. Following on in Q2, we lost Bortoleto in 15th, Doohan in 14th, Stroll in 13th, Alonso in 12th, and Hadjar in 11th. And then the top 10, we had Sainz in 10th, Gasly in 9th, Hamilton in 8th, Leclerc in 7th, Albon in 6th, Tsunoda in 5th, Russell in 4th, Verstappen in 3rd, Piastri in 2nd, and Norris in 1st. And once again, these were dry conditions, which weren't very representative as to what will come next, which is the Sunday race. Okay, so the Sunday race, we had a lot of crashes. The rain was really impacting the drivers. 6 people crashed out, with Hadjar on the formulation lap. It was devastating to see the reaction of him. He was hoping for so much, and then he couldn't contain his emotions, and he just grabbed his helmet, hiding his tears. And then Anthony Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton's dad, walked up to him as Hadjar was going back to the Racing Bulls hospitality to just comfort him and tell him everything's going to be okay. You know, this is just the first day, you'll be fine. And really consoling him, making sure that he knows that, yeah, it might have not gone the way you wanted to, but it's okay. It's not the end. This is just the beginning. You'll grow, you'll be okay. And then when the race actually started, very early on, we lost Jack Doohan. He slipped off the road, and while the safety car was out to sort out Doohan, we lost Sainz in the corner. So that was very early on. And then about nearer to the middle of the race, we lost Alonso. He just lost control of his car and just spun out completely. And then finally we lost Bortoleto and Lawson. They spun out very close to each other, and they just couldn't carry on, so they automatically got 0 points off the boat. And then we had Behrman in last place, which in this case was 14th, so it's not too bad. Followed by Ocon, so both Hasses did not get any points in the first race. Tsunoda didn't get any points. Then Gasly, Hamilton got 1 point. Piastri got 2. Although he did start in second position, but very close to the end he did follow Norris into a slight gravel trap and slipped off the curb. Both of them did that, but Norris was able to fight it off and be able to get back on track almost immediately, whereas Piastri went full on into the next gravel trap and then had to reverse out. And he is a very determined guy. He will do anything just to not get disqualified, especially after so many people already had been they DNF, they did not finish. He didn't want to be number 7 on that list. I say disqualified, what it actually means they did not finish, so they didn't end up with any points. So he fought and he managed to go from the very bottom right up to 9th position, and he was able to score 2 points for McLaren in his home race. He was not happy with the result. They hoped for a McLaren 1-2. That did not happen in Australia. And then Leclerc got 4 points, Hulkenberg got 6. Nobody expected Sauber to score any points, but here we go. They scored more points in the first race than they did in the whole of the 2024 season. That's not me throwing shade, that's just me talking facts. And then Stroll got 8 points. We did not expect Stroll to do well. Maybe, he's turning over a new leaf. We'll see how long that lasts. And then Albon scored 10, Antonelli scored 12, Russell scored 15, which means he was in third. Verstappen got second place with 18 points and Norris with 25. So with that being said, the team standings, McLaren leads with 27 points, and that's 25 points from Norris and 2 points from Piastri. Mercedes with 27 points as well, that's Russell's 15 and Antonelli's 12. Red Bull leads, Red Bull then takes third place with 18 points from Verstappen, Williams with 10 from Albon, and then Aston Martin with 8 from Stroll, and then Kick Sauber 6 from Hulkenberg, 5 from the Ferrari boys, Hamilton and Leclerc, and then Alpine, V-Carb Racing Bulls and Haas got 0, as Haas they were in last place. V-Carb lost one of its drivers who did not finish. He didn't even start. And then Alpine, they lost Doohan, and Gasly also was not within points reach. So now that the race is over, let's go on to the side stuff, and this is where I will talk about everything that happened once the race had finished to the beginning of the race weekend in Shanghai, and then we'll continue on with next week. So straight after the race, there were murmurings starting to build up around, did Red Bull hire the right driver when they swapped Checo out for Lawson and leaving Checo without a job, and this had constantly bubbled up and all the way through the Shanghai race, and as a result also that started to put into question who should be the next driver, and the simple answer would be Yuki Tsunoda because of how long he's been at Racing Bulls for 5 years now. It's about time that he has been given his chance, and he was overlooked in December, so that was bubbling along and carried on to the Shanghai race weekend. But the biggest news was Formula One lost a legend of the sport. Eddie Jordan passed away at the age of 76 from pancreatic cancer in Cape Town, surrounded by his beloved family. So if you don't know who Eddie Jordan is, he was a legend in motorsport. He was a businessman. He started off being an owner of a Formula 3 team, then Formula 3000 in late 80s, early 90s, and then he began his Formula 1 team, which was called Jordan Grand Prix, and this team was on the track from 1991 till 2005 when Eddie Jordan sold his team. He was known as someone with a crazy mindset, always go, always grafting, always, wanting the best, although he knew he didn't have, the biggest team in terms of resources. He did manage to win races with his cars during the tenure that they were on track, and he and he'll be greatly missed in the sport. After his time as a team owner, he eventually became a pundit on BBC Sport for Formula One, then on Channel 4 when Formula One moved to Channel 4. He most recently had a podcast with David Coulthard, who is an ex-Formula One driver, called Formula 4 Success, now ran solely by David Coulthard, and he did recently, as in the day that I'm recording this, is the day that Formula 4 Success released their dedication video with Mark Webber, discussing their memories and all the things that they're grateful for with Eddie Jordan. And it's just a shame to miss such a legend. He was an absolute treasure, and he will be greatly missed. So on that somber note, we end today's show, and we will see you next week, where we'll be discussing the Shanghai shenanigans, and we will hopefully have, well, some good news, some bad news, some crazy news, but we'll see you next Saturday for all things Formula One. Don't forget to check out my lovely colleagues on the Be The Change Media Network. Also, we recently came out with stickers, so grab them while they're still available on the Be The Change Network website, BeTheChangeMediaNetwork.com. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.